Bada bing, boom, pow.
Each time I do
right,
okay, man.
right here, right now.
I see how it is, man. Tony, come on. We got you, bro.
Bada bing, boom, pow. Welcome back to another week of EDM Reacts.
Alright, guys.
Alright, so we are going to change it up for you guys a little bit. Just a little bit, not that much. For one, so we could deliver like consistently more content to you guys, like twice a week instead of just once a week. And for two, we're noticing that like the videos are really long. Like they're like 40 to 50 minutes. And like, albeit that being like great and you guys have a long video to watch, we find that like you enjoy, you know, having something a little bit shorter and maybe split up into segments so that you guys can like digest it a little bit more.
A little too much to absorb. For sure.
Yeah.
Like 47 minutes worth.
Yeah, and we don't want to cut like our feedback and everything short because then you guys don't really get to like vibe with us and like feel what we're feeling and stuff. So let us know how you guys feel about this new structure. But what we're going to be doing is 6 songs twice a week, released on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yes.
And then we'll announce the song of the week on that Friday. And then every single new week we'll just be doing that new music, okay? So
and again, that's going to be starting next week. But though, for this second video of this week, just to shorten it up and to kind of help transition in, we're doing 6 songs. And then next week, we're starting that new program. Again, Wednesday, Friday, 2 videos for the week, each having 6 songs. And then announcing the song of the week on the second video on Friday.
Yeah, so that'll give you like 25 minutes of like our beautiful faces to listen to.
Shorter videos, but still, you know, the same good old people.
Quickly digestible.
Like, yeah. And don't forget about Tony. I'm here. You guys forget about me.
Why are we forgetting about you?
I step out of the camera for 1 minute and you forget about me? Okay. I see how it is. Come on, Tony. Come on. We got you, bro.
Alright, guys. First song of the week is going to be Mayday by Cheatcode and Natalie Major. Let's go! Ooh, atmospheric water. I feel like
I'm listening to a Hans Zimmer score.
It's like we're in Maine or something.
Dude.
Riding out the storm that's in my head.
Beautiful vocals.
So much for staying.
Piano sounds really nice.
To pretend
I like it's playing that like it's the fundamental just on repeat. It's very pensive.
It's the end. So if the ship is going down, who will save me now?
I love this.
Mayday, can you hear me? I'm calling out.
Vocals a little bit loud relative to the instrumental. Just a little bit. Beautifully processed vocals though. That was a nice reverse. I love the sample selection.
Same.
Beautiful writing. It's giving me Slander vibes a little bit, right? There's a song that has a very similar melodic progression.
I like this a lot.
Why was that funny?
I don't know. The vocal is definitely loud in this section.
Whoa, that was weird. There was like a delay. The way that she's singing, can anybody hear me now? Love the production though. No sub. Right? Like at all. Very Millennium.
There's no body to the kick either.
Everybody hear me now.
Very mid and top heavy, so it wasn't really cutting through. The snare needed more transient for sure.
I needed more of an outro. It was such a beautiful song that built up into one drop, which is a very atypical arrangement for like a classic EDM song is usually like, you know, verse 1, drop, verse 2, drop, maybe a bridge and a third drop, or just an outro. But this was just like one big pensive build into one like kind of finale, and then it just kind of went out. I would have liked that piano to come back, just slightly fade out, playing that sustain again. Beautiful writing. The drop was not as impactful as I would have liked. Needed sub for sure. I don't know what key that was in, but if it was too low for us to hear the sub, then definitely to add a mid bass. I feel like we say this in every episode. There needs to be like a mid bass there to fill out those low mids.
And the saws weren't even that full too. They lacked a lot of mid bass as well. The production and writing from the first 3/4 of the song was great.
Yeah.
Great.
And vocals could come down a little bit to blend with the rest of the instrumental a little bit. They were processed beautifully. I think they did just maybe like a dB and a half, and like a little bit more like glue compression from the instrumental and the vocal itself.
For
to kind
sure,
of blend
it was
everything.
too on top of the mix.
Yeah. That would have done it. Good job.
Next up, we have Icarus by PhaseOne and Polaris.
Went from like very lacking in mid bass to like
this mid bass is
very present.
Sick. Feel like I'm about to go into a mosh pit.
You know, this is not EDM, but I like it anyways. Reminds me of my old hardcore days. You guys listen to like Thrice?
Oh yeah.
Very like Underoath, Sailsin vibe. I don't know if the top line harmonically matches the guitar chords.
Ooh, cool. Little metal screamo into trap, like a weird hybrid trap going into. Nope.
Psytrance.
Yo, there's slaps. What?
Sick.
The master needs to be turned up though. Very quiet.
Kick me to hit harder.
There's a lot of sub.
Yeah. But it's like sub rumble.
Right.
We used to listen to a lot of music like this growing up, so it's like very nostalgic for us.
I just remember being in roller skate rinks. This is where these bands used to always play.
Really? Not for us.
In Michigan, yeah.
Not in Florida. This is like House of Blues.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
No, I grew up in Michigan, and I don't think I've really ever been to. There was like smaller venues, but never a House of Blues.
There's always a House of Blues for us, like big hardcore.
Well, like, kind of the towns around me, the biggest. There's this one venue though. It was a roller skate rink, and it was 30 minutes away from my house, so it was pretty far. But they had just the sickest artists, like all the biggest acts in the screamo scene, all played there. It was insane.
That was dope.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was the first time I've heard like a true hybridization between hardcore and EDM. I mean, I've heard some stuff that had like screamo in it, but this was almost like a full hardcore song.
Yeah.
That had like some EDM drops, EDM components to it, which is a little bit different. It was almost in like the reverse. It's usually more like the EDM side with like aspects of like hardcore. This was like hardcore with aspects of EDM.
Yeah, and even from the mixing standpoint, it was mixed as if it was
like
a
rock
hardcore
song,
track.
Yeah, for sure.
There wasn't like much of a low end thump in the kick. It was like,
it was like
kind of lacking
mid-heavy,
like more of the body of the mid. It
Yeah.
was definitely mid heavy, but no low mid heavy to make it full. And that's how a lot of rock music is mixed.
That was fun though. I liked it.
But dude, that brought me back.
Back,
I was for
man.
sure to listen to that song again. Bro, bro.
Next up, we got the Night Riders.
Every time
we
I
be
do,
riding at the nights.
every time I do, bro, you immediately just go to Okay, man.
Right here, right now, we got a Night Riders with a Diversify, a Harper, Minta, and a Variegate.
Say it in English so people could actually understand.
Night Riders by Diversify, Harper, Minta, and Variegate. I like the telephone filter.
Same.
It's going for a little while. It's not moving either, it's not opening.
For 21 seconds.
Yeah, it's a really long time.
I would have liked it to slowly open up into it, or at least be some spatial effects, transitional effects to lead into that.
It sounds like a very young producer. Vocals very phased out. Nothing's really glued together. It needs to be an atmosphere to kind of create the space.
That ad-lib, that should be more washed out, tucked more in the back. It's too up front. I would like it to be more wet.
Yeah. Sounds like a good idea and like a newer producer. Like somebody who's just kind of getting into things, starting to release music. So musically speaking, it's cool. It's got some really cool components to it. Mix-wise, master-wise, component-wise, definitely lacking.
There's
the kick is hitting, but it's not really, doesn't really have to fight much.
No sub, there's no low mids.
Guitar's a little over-compressed. Could probably EQ out some of the low mids on it.
Yeah, and that's by far the loudest instrument in the piece.
There needs more elements tucked in the background, like white noise, some kind of tonal ambience, just to create a space, because it just sounds like it's empty in the back right now, aside from that chord thing going, but it's not, it's staccato, it's not held out, so everything kind of felt empty. If that makes sense. Well, if you're the artist that produced that song and you're listening to this and you sent it in for feedback purposes for yourself, good job. Definitely looking at some components like compression, because I think this whole thing could have used some glue compression to bring everything all together. Multi-band for sure. Adding more layers, having more movement and automation throughout. So in the beginning, 23 seconds of that telephone filter without it opening or anything changing and no transitional effects is really hard for people to get into things.
Yeah, especially when it's not a full sound and when you're talking about that full spectrum sound. When it's so tailored to this small frequency band, people will change, so you want it to be very short, 5 seconds, maybe a rotation of four bars,
but keep going
and then filter it up.
Keep going, you'll get it.
Some of that stuff, transitional effects too, risers, crashes, falls, white noise. There is none of that, so
you'd be surprised how much those little things will make a massive difference in the track.
You know how much time I spend just on spatials?
It's honestly sometimes the most fun, because you get to just create the world that you're looking for. You don't have to do generic stuff like just vinyl crackle or white noise. You could go with whatever ambient sounds you want. Train station, the beach, anything. Just filter it out the right way if you know what you're doing with EQ, and tuck it in the back just subtly so you can feel it but not hear it.
Fills out so much of the mix too.
Difference.
Alright? Alrighty now. No, I'm not gonna do that. We got Cheatcode by Black Tiger Sex Machine, Hairitage, and Hyro the Hero, remixed by Jessica Audiffred. Feel like we're at an amusement park and we're walking through the haunted house or mirror maze.
I love hip hop on top of EDM. It makes it so much harder.
Ooh, those trap horns, there we go. Kenan loves horns.
It just makes it feel like a war is happening.
Okay, I remember.
I know the original.
I know the original.
Mix is good in the drop. It's got a nice sub. Nothing really different from a lot of other things I've heard. It's just the same old growl going. Wah, 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 wah. This is cool. I think it needs to be, the timing on the swing needs to be adjusted a little, like a triplet. The verses feel really quiet.
They do,
relative to the drop.
Oh, that was a massive. There was a massive
maybe your
gain
side chain was
right
on for a really long release.
Or just threw on a utility at the end on the master and brought it up.
Cool sound design. Compositionally, it's really good. I think it's like mixed master-wise.
It could be a lot louder too. Master for sure.
Part feels good.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like, you know, kind of what's everyone's doing right now as far as dubstep goes. Always the same, wah, 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 and then some riser drone in the back, and then like it does it again on like a call and response, which is cool. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like when I went to Lost Lands last year, I had no idea who I was listening to during all of these sets. So much stuff sounded exactly the same, and that's okay. I mean, there's trends, and people hop on those trends, and like a lot of people try to like mimic what one of their idols might have done, not realizing that 50 other people are also trying to mimic at the same time. And by the time you guys all put out your music, everyone's releasing the same thing. It's inevitable to some point, right? Like a lot of creation is just mimicking, and like innovating is just a matter of like how much are you innovating your sound to be different. And like, so, I'm not gonna lie, it's really exciting as a producer sometimes, especially when you're first starting out, where you produce a song and you get to an endpoint that actually sounds good, like one of your idols. You're like, holy crap, I can do this too, you know. Like you get addicted to that process of like wowing yourself, impressing yourself, and you want to put stuff out there as soon as possible. But if you want to be remembered, if you want to make a name for yourself, if you really want to be like lasting in this industry, make a song, mimic, and then afterwards just do whatever you have to do to break it apart and like change it up.
To all beginning producers, everybody out there, you got to start somewhere. So like mimicking and replication and trying to remake songs of like the people that have really inspired you.
Great practice.
Everybody does it.
Yeah.
And release music. Like that's a big thing. You want to get into that habit of just releasing.
Yeah. But otherwise, good job.
Sick.
Yeah. Next up is Neverafter by Justin Hawks. I'm stoked to hear it. Alright, a little bit of suspense. A little riser that's coming up over like 8 bars.
Oh. Hell yeah, what?
D&B artist right now, taking over.
I would have liked the delay though on that art to be a lot more wider. Yeah. It was like too compressed centered.
Yeah. It's a long song. 4
this
minutes,
is
20
sick
seconds.
though so far. Cool. Progression is really nice so far.
Like those pads. Really nice textures.
Oh, what?
Sounds like a motorcycle revving up in the back. Wasn't expecting vocals either. I love D&B. It's like
Same.
I like this liquid stuff, like very melodic.
I like the tonality in this lead.
Yeah. Like a very like interesting D tune on a pulse wave or something. What is that? I like the sub is like moving, like fluttering. Ooh, I like that. Sounds like a really violent torque.
Probably could have turned down the filter a little bit, just to...
At first I liked it, but then afterwards it literally just sounded like someone was sitting on the toilet.
It was cool, but I think with like the mod for the filter, it shouldn't have opened up that much.
It sounded like he had like a filter with a resonant peak that he was moving around a lot, which was giving it that formant vocal type thing.
I like the resonant that he was doing. It just turned down the filter amount. It shouldn't have opened up to like here. It should have like opened to here.
I agree. Oh, it's going halftime?
I don't know, but there's something about just halftime with DMB that just hit.
Because it's that trap, like, hip-hop BPM. I just wanted to, like, trap arm.
Percussion could have been louder, like the hats were kind of too tucked.
I like all the creative Foley and atmosphere and ambience that there was there. Overall, really cool track. I love the DMB. It wasn't like a high energy, like jam out crazy dance DMB. It was somewhere in between that and like really chill, which I kind of liked. It was like different. But agreed, yeah, I feel like some components on the mix, like that 4D mid bass could have been turned down a little bit. I really liked all the pitch bends on the sub and everything like that. Made it like very interesting and never got old.
Yeah, a lot of movement in the like in the
everything.
Yeah, in everything.
Everything was
so
like,
it kept it very interesting.
Good job, Justin Hawks.
Yeah, that was sweet. All right, let's get into it. The last track for this episode, "Waiting for the Day," featuring Kyle Reynolds by Quix, CORTR, Kyle Reynolds. Let's get at it.
It's hard to count the nights since you left. Only been living in my head. Sleeping in the city in this bed.
It's trap BPM. Quix going trap again, not DMB. Quix is always so good with his percussion.
Yeah. Like wave influence, okay.
Is it just like a less of a side chain, more of a flow?
Yeah, I don't want to speak on it. Just I've never produced wave music, but I have a couple friends who are pretty big into it.
Drop in the comments.
Ooh, cool.
Cool future bass.
Yeah. I like the lead a lot. That low mid is really nice in it.
I wonder what that is. Sounds something filtered with like a really strong distortion.
But they don't understand what we had. I don't wanna lose or forget.
I like the top line.
I like the soft first kick into the second. You got your girl in front of you, can't dance, it's going like this.
No, that's DJs, the duo DJs always do on the build-ups. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, go!
And then we spend too much time up on the deck. We know every move.
Do it all. I have rusty shoulders because of it. Nothing's moving right anymore. Really cool. Those wave portions or whatever you'd call them in the in the first and the third drop, they were pretty dope. I mean, they were like really vibey. They didn't hit like, they didn't come smacking like a typical drop. It kind of flowed in nicely. And if that's what it means to be in like wave music, is just a little bit more flow between sections. Great tracks per usual. Thanks Quix, thanks CORTR, thanks Kyle Reynolds. That was dope. And of course, we didn't forget to announce our song of the week.
What, the second half of the week, the song that we picked and we liked the most was
Neverafter by Justin Hawks.
Hey.
Loving them DMV vibes. It was a really fun track, really energetic. Just had good vibes all around. And yeah, we've just been on a DMB grind, and honestly, even from an objective standpoint, I like the mix on that song the best out of all the ones that we heard. Some really interesting sound design there, so yeah, it was really cool. Thank you guys. Well, those are our 6 tracks for this half week, and yeah, we had a great time. Thank you for listening with us, guys. I'm excited to start this whole like new change. We're actually going to be moving in together. with a bunch of homies starting like in a week and a half or so. So our lives are going to be in shambles for a good couple weeks until we get everything sorted together. But we're not going to stop delivering you videos. Even once we move, we're going to find a place in the new apartment to kind of like get this whole thing situated until we move into our studio and can get like works kind of set up to get this whole process seamless and perfect for you guys.
So we apologize ahead of time if there's like a little change of scenery, maybe different sound treatment, but we got things coming. It'll be a totally new, cool setup, and we're super pumped.
Yeah, we're just planning on making this whole thing better for you guys.
Roomies! But thank you again for tuning into this episode and this week. Lots of new cool stuff coming in the following week, so we appreciate you, we love you, and we'll see you soon. Kyle.
Kenan.
Peace.